You don't have a confidence problem. You have an exposure problem. The confidence lie. Most people believe confidence is something you acquire privately. They think it's built in isolation, in reflection, in preparation. They imagine confident people waking up ready, calm, certain, unbothered. That's the lie. Confident people do not feel confident before they act. They feel confident after they survive exposure. And most people never let themselves get there. Because what they are actually avoiding isn't failure, it's visibility. Confidence is not a feeling, it's a record. Confidence is not a mindset, it's not optimism, it's not belief. Confidence is a record your nervous system keeps that says, I've been here before. I didn't collapse. I wasn't destroyed. I survived being seen. That's it. You cannot talk your way into that record. You cannot think your way into it. You cannot analyze your way into it. Your body only records experience. And if you keep avoiding exposure, the file stays empty. Why confidence never comes first. This is the order. It never changes. Exposure, survival, evidence, confidence. Most people try to reverse it. They say, once I feel confident, I'll speak. Once I'm ready, I'll show up. Once I stop feeling nervous, I'll try. But confidence does not precede exposure. It follows it. Confidence is not permission to act. It's the receipt you get after. Waiting to feel ready guarantees stagnation. Why social exposure is different. Doing things is uncomfortable, but being seen doing things is threatening. Social exposure activates something deeper than failure. It activates judgment, evaluation, comparison, rejection, misinterpretation. When you act privately, your ego stays intact. When you act publicly, your identity feels at risk. That's why people don't just avoid action. They avoid speaking up, asking questions, disagreeing, expressing needs, being honest. Silence feels safer than exposure, not because silence is healthy, but because silence feels controllable. The real fear is not rejection. Most people say they're afraid of rejection. They're not. They're afraid of being seen clearly. Rejection still allows ambiguity. Exposure removes it. Once you speak, people form opinions. Reactions happen. You lose control over perception. And control feels safer than growth. So people stay quiet. They stay agreeable. They stay easy. Not because they're calm, but because they're managing risk. Why waiting feels responsible. Avoidance rarely looks reckless. It looks mature. I'm just being careful. I don't want to say the wrong thing. I want to be intentional. I'm still working on myself. That sounds responsible, but most of the time it's just fear wearing intelligence. Waiting avoids embarrassment, tension, emotional exposure. It preserves comfort. But comfort does not build confidence. It preserves uncertainty. The nervous system does not care about logic. You can understand all of this intellectually. You can say, I know rejection won't kill me. I know people's opinions don't define me. I know I'm overthinking. Your nervous system does not care. Your nervous system learns through survival, not explanation. It only updates when something happens and you live through it. No exposure equals no update. So, your body keeps treating visibility as danger. Why smart people struggle the most? Smart people often suffer the most with social exposure. Not because they're weak, but because intelligence gives them tools to hide. They anticipate reactions, they manage tone, they rehearse responses, they use preparation to control perception. Silence becomes safety. If you don't speak, you can't be judged. If you don't share, you can't be misunderstood. If you don't show up, you can't fail publicly. So intelligence becomes insulation, and insulation slowly kills confidence. Preparation as a hiding strategy. Preparation feels productive, but often it's avoidance. You keep refining. rehearsing, waiting, not because it's not good enough, but because exposure feels worse than imperfection. So you delay, and delay trains your nervous system to associate safety with hiding. Confidence is a lagging indicator. Confidence always lags behind behavior. Always. You don't speak because you're confident. You're confident because you've spoken before. You don't assert because you feel ready. You feel ready because you've survived asserting. Trying to feel confident first is like trying to feel strong before lifting. It doesn't work. What social exposure actually is, social exposure is not dominance. It's not force. It's not recklessness. It's not pretending you're fearless. It's allowing yourself to be seen without guarantees. It's saying the sentence you normally swallow, sharing an idea before it's perfect, letting someone disagree without correcting them, asking for what you want without apologizing, letting silence exist without filling it. Exposure is choosing presence over control. Why affirmations fail? Affirmations try to override experiences. They say, I'm confident, I'm powerful, I'm enough. But your body asks a different question. If that's true, why are we hiding? You cannot convince your nervous system it's safe while continually avoiding exposure. That creates internal conflict, and the body always wins. The hidden cost of avoidance. Avoidance doesn't just delay confidence, it damages identity. Each time you stay quiet, you teach yourself your voice is unsafe. Each time you defer, you weaken self-trust. Each time you hide, you shrink. Over time, you don't just lack confidence, you lack presence. Living as a background version of yourself. Avoidance turns you into a background character. You're present, but muted. Capable, but unseen. Intelligent, but quiet. You watch others take space, not because they're better, but because they're willing to be visible. Social exposure builds self-trust. Confidence is not self-love, it's self-trust. And trust is built by keeping promises to yourself. Exposure is one of those promises. Each time you speak despite discomfort, you say, I will not abandon myself to stay comfortable. That compounds. The smallest exposure rule. You don't need big moments, you need repeatable discomfort. One sentence, one moment, one visible action. Confidence does not grow from intensity, it grows from consistency. The smallest exposure you avoid is the one you need most. Micro exposure. Examples. Say one honest sentence without cushioning it. Hold eye contact 1 second longer. Don't preface with, this might be dumb. Let someone misunderstand you without correcting them. Don't rush to explain yourself. These moments matter. They teach your nervous system that visibility is survivable. Responsibility is visibility. Responsibility is not being correct. It's being present. It's allowing your voice to exist in the room. It's accepting that misunderstanding is part of being human. You don't become confident by protecting your image. You become confident by surviving without one. Why courage comes first. Confidence feels like courage in hindsight, but courage is what comes first. And courage is quiet. It's not loud belief. It's agreement with discomfort. You don't need belief. You don't need to believe in yourself. You need evidence. Evidence only comes from exposure. Not thinking, not planning, not waiting. Exposure. Final truth. You don't have a confidence problem. You have an exposure problem. You've been waiting to feel ready, instead of letting experience make you ready. Say the thing. Show up imperfectly. Let yourself be seen. Confidence will follow. It always does. Thank you for watching. This is MindStickz.